Do more by doing less. With me, Charles Alexander, for small business owners, startups, and busy folks.
Looks like you've been missing a lot of work lately.
I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
You ever feel like an amateur juggler? You know, the dude that you see at parties that had one too many drinks and he starts grabbing random items like, I don't know, a beer, a bag of chips in your favorite lamp and starts flipping them around. He drops one. It's funny when he does it. Not funny when we do it. And we have that all of the time where we have all of these different tasks we're working on and they're just scattered throughout the day in these little weird increments. And we're trying to do all the different things all the time. It's ineffective. It's not fun and it's draining. Here's what we're going to talk about. How do we batch our tasks correctly, effectively? So not just do we get more done by doing less, it's effective and it's fun and it's easy to do. So we're gonna look at kind of what skipping around does to you in your business, and when you do this, it causes headaches. We're going to talk about practical examples of how to fix it, other people that have done it. We're going to use a holiday theme here. And yes, I know that's fine if you're an employee, but as a business owner, solopreneur, somebody's freelancing, that's a terrible way to kind of schedule this thing. It makes you an indentured servant to everyone else. If there's a block of time, it's suddenly available to people who are controlling your calendar that shouldn't really do that. We're also trying to keep our options wide open. And you don't do that. You control when you do things, how you do them, and when you do them. If you try to keep everything wide open and just skip around and pop around, you become that friend that you can't make plans with. You know what I'm talking about? We all have that one friend that if you say, hey, James, Cindy, y'all want to come to the house on Friday? We're going to grill some steaks and hang out here with the kids. Yeah, we'll see. Let us get back to you on that. Those friends are always plan shopping. They're waiting to see if something else better comes along. And we do that with our calendar. And it sounds like we're in control, but really everybody else has control when we do that. So when we batch these light tasks together, we get into a flow, we go faster, and we create higher quality. So look, let me give you some examples of what batching looks like. And yes, they're holiday themed. So growing up, my grandparents lived a couple of hours away in a little bitty town called Bonnertown here in Tennessee. And it was the same thing every year. We drive 2 hours there. We would be there 2.5 hours, but it was very efficient. All the cousins, the aunts, and the uncles, we went to Forthy's house. And yes, her name was Forthy. Forthy's sister was Othel Valerie Cleller May. And you won't believe the brother's name. His name was James. Anyways, it was a very batched system. You'd arrive. You'd catch up with everybody. We would eat chicken stew every year. My dad and his brothers would sing this horrible version of Old Tannenbaum. Uncle David would throw his hip out of place and do a funny little walk, and we'd all laugh. Then we'd all open presents at the same time. We'd get into a huge paper ball fight, throw it everywhere until we hit Forthy in the head, knocked her glasses off. Then we'd quit. Done in 2.5 hours, say your goodbyes, and everybody came home. It was batched and effective. Now, look, let me tell you an example of where Christmas is not batched and it's ineffective. And yes, I know you're going to say, but it's Christmas. It's still a long day. So now with my in-laws, my kids' grandparents, they're not 2 hours down the road. They're 2 minutes down the road. And we usually go over there random time every year. It's never set on the same date. It's open so everybody can try to make it. And it's all over the place. We'll arrive. We'll eat a couple of bites. We'll play a game. It's usually a saran wrap game where my wife takes a giant ball of saran wrap that's taken her 2 days to put together, and it takes us forever to unwrap it, and we're handing it all around. Then we'll stop for a little bit. Then we'll eat again, and then I'll watch a little NBA, and then we'll open a present. We open presents one at a time, all the way around the room, and then we'll stop, and then we'll eat, and then we'll play another game, and then we'll watch TV. it's an all day affair. Now, granted, it's a Christmas celebration, so it's excusable, but it's still very inefficient. And yes, and again, Christmas can be inefficient, but this is how we're spending our days, like all of the time. You got one that's effective, one that's efficient, one that lets you go on and do other things. And you've got your own version of this. You've got, your holiday traditions, some that are, like clockwork and some that aren't. And in your business, if you ran your business like, let's say we did it, my grandmother's house, fourthy, you're knocking out tasks together, and when they make sense and you're getting it done in an efficient period of time, and then you can take off early and go spend time doing what you really wanted to do. If you're doing it like we do at my in-laws' house, it takes you all day. You're skipping around. You have no idea what you're working on, what's going next, and you kind of want it to ramp up before it really does. So here's what we're going to look at: creating some sweet spots for you. The tasks that you're going to batch together. What are you going to batch together? When are you going to do them? So first, I need you to identify the recurring tasks you do all of the time. And I'm not talking about necessarily your high-level leverage tasks. I have several podcasts on identifying your priorities, figuring out what you're supposed to be doing, that sweet spot that only you can do that makes you a ton of money, and then what to do with everything else. Well, this is kind of the everything else episode. The checking email, the 10 different things you're doing on social media, whether it's posting, liking, commenting, creating an article, making a video, the actual client work that you do. If you're a financial advisor, it's reviewing portfolios or meeting one-on-one with people to determine their goals. If you're an insurance agent, is looking at the policies and comparing apples to apples among different carriers. If you're a coach like me, it's the million different things you're trying to do to correspond, to create a new slide deck, to find the training materials. If you're managing, example after example, your sales calls, the networking events, the proposals, anything administrative, database, spreadsheet, find out what you're doing on a recurring basis over and over. And don't just find a blank spot in your calendar and fill it up. Once you identify what those are, then you need to decide when they get done. And they can't just be as I see them. And I know that is a time management task that a lot of people will take on. And there's books about, it's so much easier just to tackle things as you see them. Think about how ineffective that can be, just tackling everything as I see them, because every day I'm just putting out fires, because your inbox will never be empty, so to speak. It'll always be something else. Everything, all the tasks in your life's like a Kleenex box. They just keep popping out. So you decide, when am I checking email today? I'm not going to check it all day long. I'm going to check it twice a day at these periods of time. When am I going to go in and update my QuickBooks, as I haven't outsourced it to a bookkeeper? Don't do it every day or as things come in. Block out a chunk of time and knock it all out at once. And once you get into that flow state, and it takes you about 23 minutes to do that, it starts going a lot faster. And then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week, or in some cases, even the rest of the month. And in a lot of times for us, that best energy is the best energy to do these type of tasks is when your energy is low, quite frankly. The things that make you money should be done when your energy is high. These tasks for me are more afternoon tasks or more late in the week tasks. And ideally, what you want to do is create 60 to 90 minute blocks to knock out these one simple things. And I do this for podcasting. I do this for email. I do this for marketing things. I even do it for sales calls or for referral calls. Ideally, you want to get to a point where you can even create, and this is the third tip here, theme days. So first, you want to identify what the tasks are. Second, decide when they should be done. Big blocks, not little 15-minute increments. And if you can do it, create entire theme days. I've made example out of this, but shoot, let's say another one. Authors. If you're an author, you have writing days, you have research days, you have editing days. And I'm sure there's some author out there right now, well, I try to do it all at once, and then you're skipping around. You get frustrated to do this. If you're a teacher, you lesson plan all at once. You teach all at once. You grade all at once. My kids have teachers that try to skip around and do this, and it is not a fun class to be in. That's what you need to consider doing. Have blocks, have a day that is an admin day, Thursday, Friday. That's what you're supposed to do. If you keep skipping around, you're going to spend twice as much. You're going to spend twice as much time getting half as much done. You're going to be at 40. You're not going to be 40. You're going to be at the in-laws' house for Christmas all of the time. And I only do that once a year, and it's totally cool. And we laugh about it. But if I had to do that, I don't know, 4 days out of the week, it wouldn't go well. It would drive me bananas. So if you batch, you're going to free up time. You're going to free up energy. You're going to be happier. What's your next steps? Look, go to yourcharlesalexander.com, scroll to the bottom. Got a toolkit for you. It's a great way to handle the holidays this year and get geared up for the new and fresh upcoming year. Don't take off just yet. I've created a new program just for you, helping overworked entrepreneurs create their very own 4-day work week in 90 days or less. Look, if you'd rather spend more time with family, friends, traveling, exercising, having the time to do what you want instead of, I don't know, putting out never-ending fires, tackling another to-do list, and checking email at 9 p.m., then go to my website, yourcharlesalexander.com. If you've created the income you want but don't have the time freedom you deserve, then this is for you. And as always, if you don't, an angel may actually